It's so easy to just go around saying whatever we want to everyone and anyone that we come across without considering how our words are affecting other people. In today's session, I'll be talking about free speech, healing from past trauma, and lastly, always choosing kindness, and looking at how all of this can contribute to us choosing words that heal. Firstly, with regard to free speech, I know we live in a country where we are free to say whatever we want, but this is not a license to treat others unfairly or badly, or to speak in a way that is hurtful to others. All of us must take responsibility for what we say, because ultimately, how you speak has an impact on other people, and it's always important to ask yourself how you would feel if the same thing was said to you or about you. So it's important to also think around how can you say the same thing but without belittling or demeaning or undermining the other person. What do I mean by this? Let me give you a simple illustration, which I actually use in my book, Filtered, in chapter 2 of my book, where if, for example, somebody writes a report, and maybe it's not the best report ever, you've got a choice in how you respond to them. You can either just throw it back in their face and tell them this is rubbish, and throw it into their face, and the person will be left wondering, okay, this report is rubbish, what does that mean, But how can you say that differently without making the other person feel like they're stupid or undermining them? You could say to them, Linda, thank you for this report. I can see the hard work you put in. How about you change this, you delete this, you move this from here to there, and you give them helpful feedback, because then at least then they know what they need to do. And lastly, ending off by thanking them. It's a simple method called the feedback sandwich, where you start off by saying something positive. Hi Linda, thank you so much. You always work so hard and I see how much work you've put in. And then you come in with the thing that needs to be changed. Please change this in the report. Please delete this. Please move this. That's the feedback. And then lastly, end it off on a positive note. Thank you so much for your hard work. I know that you always put in 150% or something like that, because then at least that gives the person a sense that, oh, okay, this is what I need to do to make this report better. So in other words, try and do things like that and find a different way of saying what you want to say, but without belittling or undermining the other person. The second thing I want to talk about in terms of choosing words that heal is healing from past trauma. I touched on this a bit in the first video when I talked around the issue of socialization. And it's important to remember when we talk about this. I know that this is a phrase that all of us have heard, and it's become a bit of a cliche, but I'm going to use it here. But hurt people hurt people. What that means is that if somebody has experienced hurt, either from a past relationship or a past interaction, and they're still carrying that hurt and they haven't dealt with it adequately, they will continue to mete out hurt to other people. So they will often speak in a very vulgar way. They will swear, they will shout, they will scream, they will have no regard for the feelings of other people when they speak to them. So if you know that you've experienced a trauma growing up, whether you were bullied by peers or at home, or whether you were not treated properly, or someone did or said something to you that really affected you, and maybe repeatedly over a course of time, and you haven't healed from it, it's important that you deal with that trauma so that you don't continue hurting others. And also, another thing that people who suffer from past trauma tend to do is that they want to hurt you before you can hurt them. It's almost like a defense mechanism, So even if it doesn't matter how nice you are, how polite you are, what a wonderful person you are, but they will always feel a need to want to hurt you first, because they are always on the lookout for, okay, Linda is being so nice to me. I wonder when she's gonna hurt me. And then they just like a jab you. They want to jab you before you jab them with a punch. That's another tactic sometimes that they use. So firstly, hurt people will hurt others, and they will often want to hurt you first before you can actually get a chance to hurt them. And if this is you, and you know that you struggle with a past trauma that you've experienced that you haven't dealt with, find someone that you can speak to who will help you process that hurt and come to terms with it and be able to let go of it. Not to say that you're forgetting about it or you are pretending it didn't happen. I'm not saying that at all, but learning from it and growing from it so that you don't repeat the same things that happened to you going forward. And the third thing I want to talk about is always choosing kindness. I know that some people think that when you're a kind person and when you're a sweet person, that you're a weak person. And that is such a lie. Because like I always say, kindness is a superpower. When you're kind to others, people will generally reciprocate back to you with kindness. But if you're always mean-spirited, if you're always saying things that are hurtful, people will tend to avoid you and people won't want to be around you, So you always have a choice in, like I said before, in how you respond to people who hurt you. And the one thing that you can always do is to respond to them with love and kindness. Because obviously, when they're speaking from a place of hurt and you respond with kindness, it's almost like you take them by surprise and it's a shock, And yes, in some instances, some people will actually take a step back and be like, oh, okay, I'm being mean to Linda, but she's being nice to me. What's going on here? And it will actually cause them to calm down and, come back to earth and probably even change their tone when they speak to you. But with some people, it doesn't matter how nice you are to them, they will continue to treat you in a hurtful way. But like I said before, don't allow that person to drag you down and into a mud fight with them. But rather, continue to be kind. Continue to respond to them in a loving way. There's a scripture in the Bible. I know that not everyone who's listening to this may be a Christian, but that says that, it's like heaping coal on their head. Because when you're nice to somebody who's not nice to you, or you're kind to someone who's not necessarily kind to you, it's almost like they don't understand. It's like, okay, it's like you catch them off by surprise, and that can actually have hopefully will have the effect of causing them to review how they interact with you, because they know that they can't get to you, and also, if you ever have a choice between choosing to be right and choosing to be kind, I would say choose to be kind. Because sometimes we want to be right at all costs, and you find that maybe something has happened and you know that you are right, but sometimes you just need to choose kindness over being right and pushing your own agenda and saying and ending up saying things that you shouldn't be saying, because yes, all of us, especially when you are being treated badly or you are being wronged, choose kindness. Respond in a kindful way. Kindful. I'm making up is that a word? Kindful way. But you know what I mean. Respond with kindness. That's what I mean to say. Making up words. Always respond with kindness to people. And don't try to push to be right, but choose to be kind. So that's it for this video, today's video. And in summary, I'd just like to say that, it's important to choose words that encourage others, and encourage others with your words, especially those who are difficult to love. All of us in our lives have people who are just difficult to love. That person that grates you the wrong way. You know that every time you meet up with this person, you need to breathe. But it's important that, like I said, always choose kindness, always respond to them with kindness. remember that freedom of speech is not an excuse to treat others badly, but to, yes, express what you need to say and do say what you need to say, but you don't have to say it in a way that is rude and demeaning. If you're suffering from a trauma that you experienced in the past that's still affecting you today and you're still feeling hurt, find someone to talk to, deal with it instead of projecting your pain on other people, and always choose kindness, because like I said earlier, kindness is a superpower. If you loved this video, you know what you'll love even more? A copy of my book, Filtered. You can order it on Amazon or directly from me. Purchase links are in the description below. Once you've read the book, please do leave me a review on Amazon, because your feedback helps introduce my books to other readers who will benefit from it.